Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on the Upper Tier Podcast. If you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video. The Avengers are assembled again this week. We have plenty to talk about, lots to get through. I have some fantastic history. Sean Mack, just a warning. There is a few notable deaths this week, and they have to be mentioned. They can't be avoided. It's important we talk about them.
God.
I have a litany of birthdays again. I don't know what's happened in the first 2 weeks in May. All these wrestlers' birthdays occurring during that time as well. So, fabulous show ahead. We are going to be talking about Raw. We're going to be talking about Saturday night's main event. We're going to be talking about Clash in Italy. We're going to take a quick look back at MVP MMA 1, the controversy that was. And a few other little bits. We're going to be talking about some other news items as well that have come through. And anything you want to talk about in the chat as well, you can send it through. And my Revolut, just send a $5 for each item. But apart from that, folks, if you could, as I said, like, share, and subscribe, and smash that bell notification button. We have a huge volume of watch-alongs coming up over the next 2 weeks. We are absolutely going to be grinding between now and Raw after Clash in Italy. So we shall begin with Raw. Before we start, Bren, Sean, Ed, and Keith, how are we?
Not too bad. I mean, I was better until you told me that there was going to be some bad deaths in the history section, so I am dreading that severely. But no, I'm good. Had a lovely day. Went to Enniskillen, got drenched, but it was okay. Had a mooch around, came back. Finally got a webcam, so you can finally see my face again for the time being. But if you don't,
all right, Sean, didn't ask for a life story.
That's all right. Yeah, so I'm going to turn the camera off now. So
I'm so sorry. No, Sean, keep it on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
If my face is too bad, let me know. I can put up more virtual backgrounds. I got a lovely one of myself and a cat in Dundalk. But other than that, no, I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to getting into a pretty packed show.
Very good, very good. Right, let's get into this. Anyway, who we start? Keith, talk to me. Raw.
Raw was actually decent this week, I have to say. I did like the opening to it.
It's been decent now for a few weeks, in fairness. Not
well, not as good as Smackdown, but decent enough. But we'll get to that. Go on.
Decent. I like the opener of it, to be honest with you. When Roman came in out of the car, and then you talking to Adam Pearce and all this, and then Fatu's music just hit. I actually liked that part. I have to say that was pretty cool.
What do you make? What do you make of him like not having the belt and picking up the belt when he gets
I find it weird. I just find it weird.
The idea behind that, does anyone know? Like,
I'm actually glad you brought that up, Niall, because I don't like it.
No, I don't. It's disrespectful, I think, that he doesn't keep the belt with him at all times.
Dead right. I totally agree with you. I mean, a champ carries his belt and he clicks his fingers in a bellboy. Well, I shouldn't say bellboy in WWE. We shouldn't say that. But somebody comes in. I don't like it. Like Ed said, completely agree.
I wonder, is he doing it on purpose to trigger people? Is it something he's doing himself because he knows it's going to get up people's noses?
Well, we're talking about it right now, aren't we? So maybe you're right.
Yeah. So
I actually wrote it down.
It's a heel thing, though, isn't it? It's kind of a bit of a heelish thing to do.
Well, no, because heels always have their belts as well if they're champions. Like, this guy's a rocking up and he's going to Adam Pearce, where's my belt? You know, and then someone runs off and gets the belt from, like, you know what I mean? So it's like as if they're pulling the belt from like hidden treasures or something like that. Or I don't know. It's weird.
It's like a clock in and clock out system. He takes the belt when he's walking in. It's out. It's like he hands it back when he walks out. And
it's
again,
like, do you know what it might be? We know there's contractual issues with TKO at the moment. Is this him going, well, I'm paid for my 3 hours at Raw, and outside of that, you can fuck off. I ain't nothing but Roman Reigns.
that could be that, yeah.
If that is the case, you have to give it to Triple H for backing him on that.
I'm not saying he's backing him. I'm just saying maybe this, because there's a lot of things at the moment not being backed, as you can imagine. But yeah, go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
I like the opening to Raw, to be honest with you. I thought it was a good segment, to be honest, what everything was going on. And they still made Jacob look pretty, solid as well, even though he got a big of a beatdown. As well as that, the Finn Balor and JD McDonough match, I can't say anything wrong about it. Pretty decent street fight. I just can't get into this Judgment Day Finn Balor storyline, to be honest. I said that to Dave earlier on. The Sol Ruka stuff is good with Becky Lynch, and I'm interested to see how that's going to go ahead and go further on. What are they doing with LA Knight, lads? Because I just didn't get this whole thing backstage, what he was trying to do. everybody.
I loved it. I loved it. The way he mispronounced the Eulafala and all, and Jay Uso.
Oh yeah, and he's cracking up. Yeah,
it was so good. I think with LA Knight, that's going to be part of his character going forward now. That he just drops fuck ups all the time. He's playing the internet community at this stage, isn't he?
He's stealing my gimmick.
What did he call it? An Eulafalala or Lala Falala or something like
something
that.
Like that. And Jay was
fucking funny.
I
was pissing myself. Jay Uso doing this with the hands, trying to keep it together. It was just hilarious, man.
The only reason I don't think it was intentional is because they've cut it from Netflix. Because I was watching Raw today and I seen it on the social media machines and it wasn't part of the promo.
And I don't even know. I didn't even see it.
Yeah. So they've actually cut it from Netflix.
They should leave it in there. It's so
I totally
good.
agree.
Yeah,
it was
so good. Yeah. Keep going, Keith.
So yeah, what else was on to do is the women's tag team division. I think we spoke about this. It's not the best at the moment. I know they're supposed to be doing a revival or something with it, but it's very hard to get into this, I have to say, lads. I know you're going to be happy with this, Niall. I am so glad this open challenge is over with Femi. Like, I was actually shocked to see Brock Lesnar come back. I was not expecting that because there was no hints or anything before Raw or anything like that. So they kept that very hush-hush. And yeah, looking forward to that. I have to say, lads, this Clash in Turin is a stacked show. It has some really good matches on it. Like the whole combat tribal stuff. Yeah, look, I spoke to you, Niall, about this. I was kind of hoping it would be something different than another street fight match, but however. Like overall, I think,
as I said to you with Jacob Fatu, I think the street fight thing kind of helps in a way in delivering the way the character is. He's a kind of an unhinged character. So you can't expect him to go in and do a 20-minute technical wrestling match, really, and not just lose the fucking rag, So that's his character. So that's why street fights and stuff like that really suit that narrative, really, That's what I think, anyway.
Could you do? I understand what you're saying, and I do partially agree what you're saying. I just wonder, could you do like a last man standing or something different then? Because it just feels very monotonous with this whole street fight stuff.
But Keith, it's more or less the same thing either way. The only difference is there's no pinfall or submission. Do you know what I mean? It's more or less the same thing. I get what you're saying as well, but like, look, it's going to be stellar. We've had tribal combat matches before, and I don't like, to be honest, I don't care if they call it a bleeding pink Tululu Spandu ballot match, as long as it's a good bleeding match, and that's what it's going to be, and we're going to bleed and love it.
I think by doing the tribal combat one, stroke street fight, whatever you want to call it, I think what it does is it gives the lads involved like creative license, really, to go into business and do stuff themselves and stuff like that and all. They can go outside the ring, they can incorporate weapons, they can go out into the crowd, they can do stuff, and that's really important, especially with that Italian crowd, because that Italian crowd will be boisterous and strong as well. They will be all over that, you know what I mean? So I think it's really important from that point of view, and especially with it looking like it's so strong. It's a really, really strong card, because I really didn't expect them to put Roman on that card, especially with Cody there, potentially with Gunther. I didn't expect that to happen at all. I thought these might overshadow it a little bit. This is this could be, looking at the way it's panning out, this could be like WrestleMania night one, the night one that you wanted. Let's say, you know what I mean? This is really strong. Really, really strong. And you're right, Keith. But I think they have to give you something a little bit different. And remember, because we watch it all the time, stuff like that, when you're at the show itself, to get a street fight when you're at a show is really, really cool to experience it live as well. It's pretty cool, Yeah.
I like the backstage segment with Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce when he said he signed off on the retirement contract and all this, and he's wondering what the hell is going on. And Paul Heyman didn't have a clue. He's just playing up like the victim and all this. I thought that was pretty good. What did you just make of the main event, lads? I thought it was a bit of a weak ending to it, if I'm being personally honest with you. But
the problem with the main event, the way they're doing it, is that they're trying to give us long-term storytelling. They're trying to lay down,
I get that,
Montez with Seth Rollins and stuff like that as well. So what happens is when you buy into that and you're thinking about that, you're kind of distracted from everything else at times that's going on. And that's how I felt about it, really. But what I really did like is at least we finished Raw on an actual match with a main event, as opposed to a fucking
paper.
The announcer's table getting fucking smashed up to bits or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we've been getting for the last 13 weeks. You know what I mean? So I think from that point of view, I really, really liked it. You know, just a comment there from Anto that I wanted to touch on. Yeah, Anto, the only thing about it is I certainly wouldn't be using the funeral of the gingerbread man as the standard for how I judge SmackDown. I thought last week was absolutely horrific, and this week wasn't that much better. And to be honest, that Gunther Royce Keys, I don't even know what the thinking was behind that. I don't know why they even bothered doing it. I don't know why they didn't just have a Cody Gunther segment. I mean, what was the purpose of it? Unless Royce Keys was potentially going to win or inject himself into the match. It was kind of really meaningless and stupid, really, in the end, because Gunther just won and that was it. And if anything, you know, from Royce Keys' point of view, like it's you know, he's starting on the back foot, you know, really. So for me, I wasn't mad about it, to be honest. But I am looking forward to Cody and Gunther. I think that's going to be really, really good. Anyone else want to add on Raw? Anyone want to inject that in the scene? Or
can I just
go on?
No, you go ahead, my man. I go after.
Are you sure? Yeah. No, just going on the Fatu and Roman Reigns, the tribal fight, or the tribal, the combat. Yeah, tribal combat. Thank you. The reason why that is Roman wants to be acknowledged by him. He won't, and that's going in there. It has to be done. So I mean, yeah, I do agree. Like Noel, you said you hit the nail on the head completely. Like Jacob Fatu is an unhinged character. He grew up like. He was in jail. Actually, I was about to do air quotes, but he actually was in jail, and he's had it tough, and he's turned his life around. But they're trying to play on the fact that, like, to keep him as a face, he needs to be able to act
through the odds.
Like exactly, and you know, use anything he can to his advantage, and that's the whole reason why nearly every fight with him, a big fight, is a street fight. It's playing again, keeping his character, making sure we know that this lad is a mental bastard and he will do anything to get where he needs to be, you know.
100%.
Yeah, I find, Dave, I just wanted to go back on your topic there as well. Again, you know what I mean? I looked at SmackDown this week. You know, I thought the opening with Trick Williams and Miz, I thought wasn't very, very good, to be honest. I didn't like it. I did like the way he dealt with Kit Wilson and put him over the announcer's table. I know Anto said that later on as well. You know, I didn't really like it. Carmelo Hayes came out and you could hear a pin drop. I don't think people even knew who the fuck he was, to be honest. You know, that kind of way. That was the reaction he got. Whereas I'm thinking in 2026, where we have Trick Williams coming out again, like what we talk about Obafemi, coming out of WrestleMania so strong and doing this character. And in 2026, and listen, I'm a huge Miz fan. I love the Miz. But that shouldn't be what they're feeding Trick Williams at the moment. What they should be doing is they should be pinging Carmelo Hayes in there, and they should be doing a summer of Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes leading the SummerSlam. That's really what they should be doing there. They have the people to put out the better matchups. They don't need to be fannying around. Not everything has to be a joke or an angle or something that's happening. You know what I mean? You can just have a straight up feud with two guys that have a bit of history. The US belt is on the line. I think if they go that route with it, I think it would make the US belt much more relative. I just thought there was a lot of elements this week on SmackDown that just didn't really hit at all. I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna judge it based on the previous week, because the previous week was horrific. You know what I mean? The previous week should be the channel cancelling the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was so bad. Like, there was people leaving the building during the funeral. People were walking out of the show during the funeral. That's how bad it got. So I'm not.
People were switching off their channels as well. No, I didn't even bother watching that. I was watching the SmackDown and I was like, I am not watching this. Like, I'm trying to tell people, like, you know, you're still watching it, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. It's great. And could you imagine trying to show them that then? Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh,
yeah. And see, Anto earlier, and I agree with you, Anto. Anto earlier mentioned like about our standards, and we have to keep the standard as fans, because if we don't keep the standard as fans, they'll just keep on churning out the shit. They won't care. You know what I mean? So we have to keep it 100, whether we liked it or we didn't like it, and be fair about it and talk about it. You know, because it's really, really not good. Like, you think about it when you compare last Friday's SmackDown. Like, look at even the way they're trying to massage and handle Gunther into this whole scene and kind of come a little bit away from the career killer thing, because they know it's death. They're looking at it and they know it's death. You know what I mean? And that's the problem here. There's a reason why they brought Brock Lesnar back this week. Because that open challenge is dying. It's killing the guy. I said it last week's show. I predicted it 3 weeks ago. I said, this is crap. All the time, I keep on saying these things. You know what I mean? And we have to call it out. That's why Brock Lesnar's back.
You know what I mean? As well. Niall, I was talking to Bren about this on the podcast on Saturday. I think SmackDown is desperately missing Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Like the star power on that show is lacking severely.
And you would, Keith, because they're two big names and two big performers in there. You know what I mean? Like that's why Gunther has been shipped over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Bournemouth 1-0 up against City as well. Yeah, could be a short watch along on Sunday. Do you know what the whole Brock thing? We were played like fiddles. I don't know whether we were played like fiddles. I mean, like he did it. He did it because you know what angle they're going to pull on this. They're going to come out and they're going to say, well, he didn't really retire. He just retired because it was his last WrestleMania or something like that. That's how they'll play this. But like we know that there was like contractual stuff going on with TKO. And we know that this guy, even through his UFC days, he's capable of walking out of the building. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And the reason he's back in is maybe the threat of the legal action because of being in breach with contract. Maybe he had to come back in. But there's no doubt about it that like him coming back in last night and attacking Obafemi in the way he did changes now the whole dynamic of that. Because what he can do is he can go to Clash in Italy or whatever it is. He can face Obafemi and beat him. And then we get a best of three culminating at SummerSlam. And maybe that's where Brock actually retires. And like that's how we called it. Because if you remember before WrestleMania, we were saying, well, I was saying anyway, that I don't think this is where Obafemi should win. I thought it was too soon and too quick. And I knew coming out of WrestleMania, they would have no fucking plan for this guy at all after hitting the heights. Like, it doesn't get much higher than a main event at WrestleMania, retiring Brock Lesnar. That's the pinnacle of this business at times. You know what I mean? So you have to have your plan then can't be, okay, I'm going to drag the Garcia boys out in headlocks and batter them. I'm going to batter Grayson Waller and I'm going to batter Otis. I mean, that's just shocking. That's just shocking.
Okay, watch it.
You know? Standing ballet. Yeah, absolutely. 31 down, yeah, absolutely. Anyone else want to touch on Raw? Anything they've seen? And
just very quick, Niall. Put the IC title on JD McDonough and do it yesterday. That's the workman's title, and oh my Jesus, give him a long run because that match you talk about, you said it a few minutes ago. You give somebody a street fight and it gives them that creative freedom, and that match was one of the best matches I've seen in absolute ages.
I have to disagree, Bren.
You have to disagree. Well, that's because your taste is shit.
Oh,
it's coming from a guy that has no butter on his roll. What are you talking about, pal?
No, come here. I'm already messing. Come here. Why do you disagree? What? Because they like you're talking moonsaults, you're talking flying bicycle kicks, suplexes through tables. These guys, too fantastic. Bad. It was incredible.
What did you? No, he was great into street fight. He's been doing very well with Finn Balor, but
you don't think he deserves the IC title?
I'm not saying that. No, what I'm saying is at the moment, I prefer to have Penta as the IC champion. I think he's doing a stellar job at it, and I just think he should hold it up until SummerSlam.
Right, but he wasn't even on Raw.
I know he wasn't on Raw, but he's still doing a good job, I feel.
I have to be honest with you. I thought you were disagreeing with me about the match. So I take back what I said. Your taste is good,
no.
Apart from the Stephanie Vacour thing, but listen, we'll get back to that. The only other thing I'll say is the women's tag team match. I have to say it. Like Brie Bella's still doing her fellas moves. That's how bad she is. She has to do her fellas moves and the catchphrase. That's a lot of pucks.
And he mentioned him as well.
And there's one more thing I have to mention in relation to that. Paige lining up with Brie Bella. Paige is being anchored down. And unfortunately, whatever Paige does after this now, not going to matter. She may as well just sail on into the Hall of Fame and do something like that because this is a load of bollocks. And when Nikki comes back, she'll come back to dead air. Nothing, no reaction. The Bellas belong in the Divas eras, and there was a time for that. We have moved past them. They haven't evolved. They have not evolved. Piss off the screen. Stop holding Paige down and let Paige do something of value, please, because this is getting bollocks.
Do you not think though what they could do there is sorry?
No,
Do you not think what they could do there? What they're going to do there is Nikki comes back, and then it causes eruption, and Paige goes heel and goes after the IC title.
I know exactly what they're going to do. I know exactly. Like Ed, we could write that story falling down the stairs, and we'd probably write a better and more unpredictable story than WWE are about to write. Nikki comes back, does a jealousy angle, and guess what? We've more shit matches for the rest of the fucking year. Sorry, Ed, that wasn't at you.
Bren, how much did you enjoy the Judgment Day beatdown on them when it started?
It was brilliant.
Come on, Bren. Admit it. You were out of the chair. You were cheering Liv Morgan and the rest of them. Come on. You're all good on the Judgment Day again. The Judgment Day is cool again.
Hold on. I knew you were going to say this. The Judgment Day still needs to be broken up, Niall. However, it's funny you bring that up because it's the worst match that Roxanne and Raquel have been part of. And because they put on some pretty good matches as a tag team, and they put on pretty good matches individually.
I thought the two girls were very good last night.
No.
I thought some of that stuff Roxanne was doing was really, really good.
I felt nothing during that match, and the crowd felt nothing. It was silent. Do you know what?
You're only going that way because of one half of that match and your hatred for it. That's all. It's nothing to do. If that was Roxanne and Raquel against who'd you like? Stephanie Fakor and someone else, you'd be all in on it.
Do you know why? Because the crowd would have been all in on it as well. And Fakor wouldn't be doing her fellas catchphrases. She wouldn't be doing the bleeding yes kicks. Get over it. Not you. Them. Sorry.
I don't think Stephanie Fakor would be doing anything in relation to her fella, in fairness. But just saying, just putting that out there. Just from what we know, I'm just putting it out there. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm sorry for going off there. It's just that. I put up a short before we went live, right? I put up a short. It's live on the channel now at 7:30, and it's about that match. And I said, look, I watched that tag team match, right? And this is the last thing I'll say on it. They need to get rid of the women's tag belts. That's where I am on that. And then whilst I'm at it, they need to get rid of the men's tag belts as well, unless they're going to commit to the bit and follow through. But we'll touch on that another time.
Exactly, Anto. Exactly. That is my exact point. We're keeping up the standards, so we have to keep, because if we drop the standards, then we're done. You know. I also like your short from earlier. No, Clash may have a better card than Mania. 100%. Clash is like, you know what I mean? It's going to be absolutely quality. Anyone else would on that? I did like Shawn Mac, the Trios Tornado match. I do like the way these guys wrestle and interact and everything else, but the whole mask thing is just waning on me at this stage. But I like the way they operate and the way they wrestle. I just get the feeling they're probably on the wrong show.
Yeah, I don't watch AAA, so I didn't even realize that the Creed brothers were wearing masks as well. But I think under those masks you have 6 very, very good wrestlers, and I thought it was a bit fun. As I said last week or last time I was on, it was last week. It's amazing how in America it's so forgettable, and boring, and totally uninteresting, and not worth a lick of our time. But then when you do it in AAA. Jesus Christ, it is so hot over there. It is legit like Hogan Austin territory, Hogan Rock territory, Rock Austin territory. Like, it's absolutely insane. But it's a credit to how they've taken this terrible, unfunny gimmick and made it into something huge. But I thought the match was okay. I think a 6-man tag with the men not playing gimmicks without their masks would be great, especially because we have 2 big, strong boys under those masks, and it makes me very sad to see them doing this. I don't know what the right show is, to be honest. I think AAA maybe, but
and they're a very good tag team, Sean, as well.
And
they're
a brilliant tag team, Brendan. An absolutely amazing tag team. Really, the pillars of British wrestling back in the day.
Do you know what I was thinking about earlier? And I didn't touch on it when you spoke about it. JD McDonough. I was really disappointed that he doesn't get his entrance. And then I was thinking, because he was just in the ring and the match starts. And then I was thinking, they should probably, if they want to really push him and get him into that, US IC conversation, all that kind of stuff, what they should do is give him like a Mad Max Fury Road entrance kind of thing. Because this Judgment Day are basically a biker club. So just give him one of those trikes. One of those trikes that fucking Triple H had at WrestleMania or something. Give him some sort of an entrance. on one of those Mad Max Fury Road fucking vehicles with flames coming out of it all, and make him really relevant. Like when Penta comes out and does his entrance, it just shoots him into superstardom. And I think if you don't give a guy an entrance, it's very hard for us to really get really pumped up for it. Now we do it because we love JD and we love Balor, because we have that connection and all that kind of stuff. But I think, if you really want to sell it to the masses, to the WWE universe, you have to sell it to us that it's a big deal. And a big deal isn't one guy getting a big, huge entrance and the other guy just suddenly appears as if he came up through the fucking canvas.
Yeah, same thing happened at Mania. JD was in that ladder match. We were too busy enjoying the Hogan documentary. And then when it came back, I think JD, Dragon Lee, and Rusev had all made their entrance.
Do you think they're not super sold on him, and that's why they're doing it? They're not giving him a full entrance.
Well, you see, the fear is, and we know how good he is. Like, he's phenomenal in terms of WWE. He's probably one of the best sellers in there on that Ziggler level, if you like. And I think the problem there is, if you get boxed into that, they can very quickly see that is your value in the company, and you get boxed into that, and suddenly 10 years goes by, and that's what you are. And that's the risk there as well. We've seen it with Dolph Ziggler. There's no doubting the talent of Dolph Ziggler. But the problem is, when you become the best seller in the company, you become the guy that they go to say, listen, kid, we need you to go out there, have a match, put this guy over, put this guy over, put this guy over. And all of a sudden, 10 years goes by, and you've never reached your own situation because you've been too busy building everyone else and doing the job for them. And JD is a little bit like that. And I'd be concerned if that's the way it goes, because he is phenomenal. He is phenomenal, and he's well capable of carrying a US or an IC belt. No problem at all. And I think, but they just need to make him a bigger deal, because he is a bigger deal. I just think they need to make him a bigger deal.
They need to get him out of the Mean Girls goth bullies from high school group. I need to get the girls from the Mean Girl goth girls.
Well, it's not even that. What's happened with the Judgment Day now is, as you know, with Balor moving out, and obviously Priest moved out and Rhea moved out and all, but the girls, because they're so talented in there and because they're pitched in a certain way, they kind of overshadow the guys. The guys have nearly become nearly subservient to them. You know what I mean? Because you've got Dom going around with the AAA belt, and unless you're a AAA fan and you're only a WWE fan, it doesn't really mean anything to you. You know what I mean? And then you have JD there as well, and the two boys tend to be always in the background from the girls now. It's kind of as if it has switched a little bit. So I think there's a little bit of work to be done on that as well. But I think they're missing a huge opportunity with JD, and I think they need to give him one of these fucking, some badass fucking entrance that they should show,
Let him use the package again. It's finished.
Yeah, but it's important that because otherwise, if you're not getting an entrance and you're just in the ring, it's like it feels like the old jobber system from the 80s, Here's coming to the ring. It's from Stone Mountain, Georgia. It's Jake the Snake Roberts, and he's going up against it's the outlaw Ron Bass or Joey Smiles from fucking the local town or something. You know what I mean? He was already in the ring. He just happened to be walking by the stadium and wore trunks. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that kind of way. We don't want them to get
it's always going to be. It's always going to be someone's. Sorry, dropped a pin there. It's always going to be someone's first show or someone's first time seeing a wrestler. So if they don't get an entrance, that's WWE saying, we don't care enough about this person to present them and tell you about them. So why should the audience, why should we at home care? We obviously all care about JD because he's one of the best wrestlers this country has produced. We've seen him, I've seen him wrestle in, little mini boxing arenas in Dublin. And now he's, touring in America with the WWE, and it's great to see. But there's going to be people who don't know JD. Watching this show is going to be their only introduction. So if they can't even give him an entrance or win to save his life, who cares?
Anto, I'm surprised at your lack of knowledge on this guy. This guy had a huge part in Gunther's success. Go back and do your homework. They're insane comments. Absolutely,
one of the best matches on the island ever.
If you cannot see the talent in JD McDonough, then I'm absolutely lost. I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
And the fact that in a group with Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, he's at the bottom. And Roxanne Perez in 2026, that is shocking. Slapper.
she's my pick to win the Money in the Bank, actually. Roxanne Perez.
Who slapper?
Yeah.
Ferg and Jordan. Yeah, they're great matches, but I don't know. Just
chemistry is outstanding.
Yeah, but I don't know about these recent matches they've been having.
I often wonder sometimes if people cannot see the value of Liv Morgan to WWE, I'm lost. I can't.
Say that to Sean Oak.
I don't buy this whole. I'm not a fan of her because she says Daddy Dom. I don't buy that. I think you're jumping on a trend train there, because her talent is undeniable.
She's unbelievable, Brent.
She's incredible, and I won't hear a bad word about her, seriously, because it's like, she says Daddy Dom too much. So what? You know what I mean? It's 2026. Like, she can do what she wants. Also, as well, her real name is more marketable than her actual wrestling name. I'll just say that. What is it? It's something Daddy-O. It's hilarious. Anyway,
Raquel and Roxanne are the only proper talent left in the Judgment Day. So Dominic Mysterio is not talented. JD is not talented. And the two girls you're talking about that are the proper talent in the Judgment Day rose to fame and became really, really good on the back of the work that Liv Morgan has done. That's absolutely insane. Insane. You're trying to trigger me here, Anto. That's madness.
Keep going, Anto.
But of course she's the most annoying in WWE. That's the character she's playing. She's not cozying up to you to be your best mate. She wants you to hate her and wants you to get pissed off.
Good job if that's the case.
That's the job she's doing. That's what she's hired to do. She's not coming out trying to be Tori Wilson. This is insane. Like, this is like, your level of hate for her is because she's doing a wonderful job. It's mad. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Now you've offended Sean.
Sean now comes into the chat and he has a go off me over Liv Morgan in our WhatsApp group. And by the time we lay it all out and talk, he's leaving the group as a fan of Liv Morgan. It's insane.
But then he goes back to the default settings again.
If you're not a fan of Liv, look at the work she did. Look at the work she did with Stephanie and all. And unfortunately, Stephanie got injured. But look at the work she did with Stephanie. It was awesome. Man.
Just real quick before we move on, Ed, do you think the Judgment Day should break up?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They are finished a long time ago. And like you say, they're all holding each other back, if you ask me. You know what I mean? They are all holding each other back. I totally agree. JD, we do know what JD is capable of. He's brilliant. But if you watch every match he does, he puts everything into it. He needs to be given a rocket and fucking fire it to
the beauty, Sharon, of content creation is we're allowed challenge opinions as well, the same way as you challenge my opinions. It's a two-way street. It's not just your opinion, it's our opinion. And that's very important in pro wrestling as well, because opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one. You know what I mean? So, like, we're all entitled to our opinion. But I mean, I don't follow the internet. I dissect down what I feel about it and stuff like that. I've been a huge Liv Morgan fan for a long, long time now.
And you only have to watch it. How many times a week do I prove Noel wrong? I've lost count this week of many times I proved him wrong.
How many hills have you died on?
Well done, Keith. Well done. Checkmate. Oh my God. Well, I just got rolled up. 1, 2, 3. That's it. I'm out.
Fair
play to you.
With the tights.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no, it's good. And listen, I value your opinion in the chat. I like people to come back and debate points with me. That's cool. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm telling you, this is my opinion. This is your opinion.
But that's why that's why what we do works, because we are completely different. Like, I disagree with Noel on a lot. I disagree with Keith on quite a bit. Dave on a lot. I'm fairly on par with Ed and Sean Mack. What is ECW? Some indie promotion from the 90s? I don't know, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, but remember, Anto, the background to that was they were going to go on a storyline where Raquel was going to break away from the Judgment Day and she was going to start challenging Liv Morgan. And that's what the whole background was to that Royal Rumble. And then they dumped the storyline. So if they had continued with the storyline and crowbarred Raquel out there on her own, that storyline would have made more sense then. And then the Royal Rumble would have made more sense. But they abandoned the storyline. That's not Liv's fault. Let's be honest here.
She can't sing.
How dare you?
She's better than Def Rebel.
Tone Deaf Rebel. I reckon they're like Beethoven. They're deaf, and then you know.
Right. Don't forget to join us. Don't forget to join us. For us, it'll be Sunday night's main event because I think it starts. We'll be on from about 12:30. I think it kicks off at 1. But it's shaping up okay. How do we feel about it? What do we feel about Saturday night's main event? It's quite strong, isn't it?
Yeah, I look forward to that, actually. I'm not actually looking forward to the Ruka-Becky match. Do you think Ruka will take the title off Becky?
No.
Or do you think
it's a non-title match, isn't it?
Oh, is it a non-title?
I heard that.
I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if they run that through the summer, and what they're doing is they're going on to a semi-big show to test Sol Ruka at that level.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'd say it is.
So do you think
I wouldn't be surprised if we got this. I reckon this might culminate at SummerSlam.
Well, they have a lot of confidence in her, though. And that's the thing. If they're going to she against Becky Lynch, you know, they have a lot of belief in her, I think.
Yeah, but they also have to see it as well.
True. Yeah.
You know, so. And the thing about it is being a non-title match as well, it gives that kind of heelish way of Becky going on, you know what I mean? Like, you're not worthy to get the title match yet, so you got to chase the title match, you know? So, yeah, I think it's the right way to go, but I think she's excellent. I think she's really, really good. Yeah. And I think being in there with someone like Becky, wait till you see how her stock rises on the basis of that. That's going to be cool. Yeah. How are we feeling about it, though?
It's a pretty solid card, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I think it's going to be a bit of crack to watch. You know what I mean? I think I did hear the Sol Ruka Becky Lynch match. I didn't think it was confirmed. I hate non-title matches, but it just indicates, like you said, they might be running through the summer, and maybe Sol Ruka gets put through the ringer. But I think we'll have a bit of crack. I mean, the Irresistible Forces, that's going to be a classic. Ethan Page will likely get the IC belt. Here's hoping. I think
look at how excited Brad looks at the Irresistible Forces, giving these two an absolute beatdown. Look at him. He's solid. Look. I love this, man. Y'all want the Judgment Day gone sitting there in your NWO shirts. Just
I can't wait. I think the Street Profits are going to win as well. We'll do the predictions before it, but look, it's going to be a good night. And as I always say, good, bad, or indifferent, we'll make this a cracker of a watch along.
No, just to go back on your point there about people giving out about the Judgment Day with NWO shirts. What impact have the NWO had on wrestling, even today?
Huge.
Okay. Now let me ask you that about Judgment Day. 10 years from now, when
10 years from now,
I'll be 32.
Well, for 2.5 years, you've wanted it gone, and it's still there. And I firmly believe, and I will stand by this. Though? You know the way Brent talks about like dying on a hill and stuff like that. Well, would Rhea Ripley have become the megastar that she became without the back end of the Judgment Day and then leaving it? Would Damian Priest's stock have risen to the point of being a world heavyweight champion? Whether you liked his run or not, it brought him to the dance. So. Would that have happened without the Judgment Day?
I think so.
But Niall,
you're right there, Niall. But nothing more is happening with the Judgment Day. I mean, it's kind of run its course now because they have done very well. But what are they doing now? You know, they're on Raw.
Do you know what they're like?
What?
They're like triggers.
Well, they've chose to go down the road of Dom feuding with people in AAA and stuff like that. He's the AAA mega champion, so they've kind of sided that a little bit. Liv is still champion. Roxanne and Raquel are still doing really, really well. And as we said, they need to do much more with JD. We believe JD is an absolute a potential star in the waiting who just needs like a proper entrance and more focus on it being a big deal.
Yeah, but they're not cool. They're not interesting. They're not intimidating.
Not cool to who?
Majority of the
people.
Cool,
not the majority of the people sitting on this panel.
Do you think if the majority of people are demanding them off the planet, or not, maybe not off the planet, but off television, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing.
So why are all the members heavily involved in high level storylines and title matches and stuff and all?
Because Monday Night Raw is going on.
No, not this week. If the majority of people want them gone, why is Liv Morgan champion? Why is Roxanne and Raquel heavily involved in high level matches? Why was Dom up to a point heavily involved in high level matches? Why is JD feuding with Finn Balor? Why is people coming in here and talking that match is match of the night? Dave Kelly said it and stuff like that. How is the Judgment Day still not relevant? And what about if they start adding new members? Let's say Raquel breaks out or JD breaks out or something breaks out. What if they start adding members?
It just triggers. It just triggers Sweep and Brush. That's
but
all
Sean, it protects people as well. Thing. Sean, I firmly believe if Raquel and Roxanne had to come up onto the roster, on their own, not involved in the Judgment Day, they probably would have been on the release list 2 weeks ago.
Well, they were both very competent before they even ran into Judgment Day. Roxanne especially. So I don't know.
Go down through the release list and tell me who wasn't competent.
Well, I think Roxanne's very talented, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Judgment Day is dragging her down. Like, she's the least interesting aspect of a 2.5 hour show. You know, already in a very.
I think she's going to be more interesting if she gets that Money in the Bank, Sean. And
yeah,
it's going to be leading
if she's
towards
solo, because she can be
say
so
that
good.
when Brie Bella's on the show.
Roxy was a great wrestler. Why not just let them be great wrestlers instead of putting them in the goth bullies from South Park group? I can't tell if they're vampires or mean girls.
Yeah. Do you know what I love about this, Anto? I love the way Ethan Page is literally like the second coming of Shawn Michaels. Do you hear him talk? If you just close your eyes and listen to Ethan Page talk, he has spent way too much time with Shawn Michaels on NXT. It's insane. He doesn't even sound Canadian. Like,
it was so good the way he just handed Michael Cole the card, and he's I was just went into that.
Yeah, and I actually did kind of like the Judgment Day back in the day. I sound like Ali G saying that, but you know what I mean.
Is this the original Judgment Day with Edge and Rhea and
Priest? Right. And then initially when Finn ousted Edge and was appointed leader, yeah, cool. And then R-Truth got involved, yeah, cool. But since that, there has literally been tension in the Judgment Day since the Biden administration. Possibly the Obama. I don't know. The same thing every week. The most nothing happens. They get upset and then they forgive each other. It's been going on for 40 years. I will have a car, a house, a wife, and a mortgage by the time this thing's fucking over. Well, I don't think I'll be watching wrestling that long. I can't say. I have a life to live.
You better be.
2.5 hours of my time every Monday after midnight, by the way, that I could be doing sleeping or studying or anything, watching this show. And it's the same thing every week with them. They are the weakest part of the company. They're the worst part of Monday Night Raw. They're one of the least interesting stables, not just in WWE, but in professional wrestling as a whole. If I talk any longer, I haven't taken a breath and then I pass out.
That's why they're pitching some of the most prominent storylines and title matches now.
But Niall,
so WWE obviously is something different than you guys say, but that's okay.
As I can't remember who said it, but as
I can't wait till we talk about Cody Rhodes if that's the case.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Sharon, in regards to Finn, I'm all about Finn Balor. What are you talking about? I was at Finn Balor's 21st, Sharon. I'm quite very good friends with Finn.
Well, we know Finn's a star. He's kind of...
And exactly. Finn as a star is already established. We're trying to bring other people up to that level. I love Finn Balor.
What did you do for Finn Balor's 21st?
I sat there and I drank.
Or something, was it? Frankie and Benny's?
No. This was at a 21st. This was in his house. Soul don't deserve a title shot. She lost to Liv and Io, so get back off the crew and earn a shot.
Well, Io just got married, so I think she's taking a little bit of time. But yeah, that's why it's a non-title shot. Don't you know? Had a title and dropped the story. They did Stephanie. Well, Stephanie's out, isn't she? So I don't know if they dropped it.
Stephanie had to leave. She had to go out.
More than presume she'll come back and they'll just resume it and she'll, I don't know, lose again maybe.
I don't think you're doing a wrestler dirty if they're injured and they have to drop their title.
Their body's doing them dirty, not WWE.
Yeah, Balor for IC champ. I think Balor should be thinking it. I'm not upset at that at all. I think maybe he might feel a little bit. He wants to go a little bit higher.
Do you not think he should get another run?
I think a decent run.
He deserves it. He deserves it. 100%.
A decent run at the world title league. Given a chance, you know.
He's deserved that the day since he separated his shoulder.
100%.
SummerSlam, that was just shy of a decade ago.
Sharon, I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that. I just want them to make the likes of JD feel bigger and more important and more relative. That's all. I don't want them skipping his entrance and stuff like that, but I totally agree. I want gold on all these people. We know these people for a long, long time. I seen JD wrestle his first match in Bray in a warehouse pissing in the rain under a mask at 14 years of age.
I saw JD do rolling for when he was like 12. Do you remember? He was just in that ring rolling. That's all he was allowed to do for years.
I bullied him in school.
Did you?
No, he'd kick my head in.
I was gonna say, see what happens now.
He broke into Brand's lunchbox and he buttered his roll on him. Right, so don't forget to join us, folks, this Saturday / Sunday. It'll be about 12:30 in the morning for Saturday's main event.
Ooh.
And by 8 o'clock, they'll be checking into the Smackdown Motel. Hopefully a much better episode this week. Clash in Italy, how do we feel? How it's shaping up? It's pretty strong, isn't it?
Looking forward to it, yeah.
Really good card. Yeah. Really good card.
I tell you what, I think Cody's losing the belt. There you go. I think Cody's losing the belt.
Fingers crossed.
I do. I think Cody's losing the belt. That's not me saying. That's not me giving up on Cody. No,
well, and here's one for you. Do you think Jacob could win this? Because Roman's going to be gone after a month.
Well, maybe. Go on.
Is he not back? Is Roman not being like slotted back in to be on all the Raws now for the next while?
No, not in June.
He is.
Well, I was in the shop. I was in the shop with Noel the other day, and I said to Noel, "Well, I don't know about Raw tonight. Sure, Reigns is off from here until July." And then, literally 15 minutes out of the shop, I got a notification: Roman Reigns live tonight.
Yeah, he is. He's back again with Reigns and Fatu. That could go all the way to SummerSlam as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I just have a feeling that Cody might.
I didn't think they skipped Paige and Bray's entrance. I thought they showed Paige and Bray's entrance. They came down the aisle with the t-shirts, and then they went around the ring.
No, they did.
I didn't think they skipped it. Now, maybe they took it off the rerun, but definitely they didn't take it off the live one. It was there. Just saying.
Stupid.
So you reckon, on the base of what, Bram? Why do you feel Cody's might be dropping the belt?
I don't. Like they just seem to have, like you said, they just kind of brush this in, and I don't think. Unless some kind of shenanigans take place, you don't retire John Cena, you don't retire AJ Styles, you don't beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Like, you don't. And by the way, you mentioned the career killer, them trying to bury that earlier on. When he came out on Friday, it was at the back, it was behind him in big white writing, career killer. They're not dropping that anytime soon. So unless something happens, unless some shenanigans, unless Royce Keys gets involved somehow, I think they might, even for shock value, they might just give it to Gunther. And let Cody then chase or do something else. Maybe. Yeah. I just have I could be wrong. I'm going to 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning towards a Gunther win.
I like Cody to go down like we're talking about and just face the IC or the US title and just build somebody up from there. To be honest with you, I'd prefer if he did that.
QB1 doesn't go down, all right? So don't say that again.
He'll go down. Mark my words.
I don't know. No,
I read if he did that.
What say you, Noel? Do you think I'm a madman for saying that?
No, because there's a lot of talk going around at the moment that's the case, that could happen. But it kind of like, if he drops the belt to Gunther, because remember, we just had him earlier in the year dropping the belt. Remember, to inject himself into Chamber of the Rumble or whatever it was. Remember, Drew picked up the belt. What do they do? Do they do it again? And if they beat him, like if the career killer beats him, then where does that leave Cody?
Well, you could do Trick Williams and Cody Rhodes, could you?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen straight away, Keith. I think if he loses the title, he goes straight into rematch mode or something like that, and I think that might happen gradually. But for now, I just get the feeling that Gunther's going to win, and I just think, and what's the logic? What's the logic in the dude that tapped out John Cena, AJ Styles, and beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, losing clean to QB1 at Clash in Italy? Like, WWE needs something.
Apparently, Anto, they've abandoned that. That's not happening. Brock's not agreeing to that. That's not going to happen. Apparently, that's what I heard anyway.
And the other thing is, Brock will do what he wants.
Yeah.
Well, they can't say no to Brock. They have to give him a shitload of money apparently to bring him back.
That's what I can't say no to him because he fucking strangle you.
Do you think,
that too?
do you think I'm enough? Like, what do you think Cody's winning? Did you get that feeling as well? Like, do you think Cody is losing the belt at Clash in Italy? Because I know you're a Cody guy. That's why I'm asking you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking to me? I'm not a Cody guy. Jesus, no, I'm not a Cody guy.
You're not a Cody guy?
No.
Oh,
get out. When you said he's losing the belt, he was like his fingers crossed.
He was, wasn't he?
Cody guy.
Get back down to Stardust. Give him back. I hate Cody.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry. I don't know where you got that from, Brent. I would love to see Gunther take that title off him because
you just look like a man with sense. You look like a man that knows.
Looks can be deceiving. You know what I mean? I'm not.
You gotta,
no, I do not like. I do
genuinely
like
thought you were
Cody,
Cody.
I don't like him.
So when you were saying you thought he's losing the belt, Ed was going fingers crossed. I can't wait.
Fingers crossed. Don't get me wrong. He's a great wrestler, but no, and I think I only said this last week. I just feel like he's being force fed. Like they're trying to make him be the John Cena 2006. You know, give him everything, and I think he is going to drop the title and win it back again at SummerSlam, and they're going to keep doing that to give him the numbers, you know, to make him look like
the numbers.
The new, to make him look like the new Cena, and I just don't like it.
No, I get you, but then when he retires, we'll all do a podcast saying, I love
him then. I love him, but no,
we all will.
To be fair, you asked Noel. I love Cena from day one. There was never any going back. I never hate him. Never hate the man.
No, me too. Me too.
I just with Cody Rhodes, I feel he's just it's probably personal. I just don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like seeing him with that belt. I'd much prefer to see Gunther with that belt.
Were you a Dusty guy?
No, I was a Goldust. You know what I mean? I was definitely a Goldust.
No, that's deadly.
That's deadly. You know,
that's deadly. We'll talk about that in regards to being
in regards to being a Dusty or a Cody. I'm not a massive Rhodes family fan. You know what I mean? Give me the Ortons any day over them. Do you know what I mean? Like, give me the Ortons any day over them. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a show. We've triggered it here tonight, folks. We've triggered it here tonight. Make sure you're smashing up those likes as well, folks. We're going to change our hats a little bit here. This is where Sean Mack comes into the show again. Sean Mack.
Hello.
MMA 1 MVP on Netflix. Give me your thought. I don't need a whole rundown now on the whole card, obviously, but I know you're probably going to want to talk about Junior Dos Santos, obviously Panas Cross, and then from there on is pretty interesting. Give us your thoughts on it, Sean.
Yeah, I only watched the main card because I thought if this was going to be a bad event, I'd be pushing it by watching the prelims as well. I thought overall, in terms of the quality of the fights and all that, I actually thought this is a very good first show. They kept saying all throughout it was going to be an experiment. If it did well, they would consider doing more in the future, which I'm down for. But I think it's amazing how Jake Paul is one of the people behind this promotion. And every time he got on the mic, especially in post-fight interviews, he was booed.
Well, he's the consummate heel, isn't he? So that's just going to happen.
He's just a dickhead, to be honest.
But I mean, Dana White's not beloved either by MMA fans either. You know what I mean? They're both heels.
No, but at least Dana White gave us the UFC. What's Jake Paul done apart from fight pensioners and vegetables
and pay fighters handsomely?
Yeah,
it has to be commended.
I don't know. I heard someone's granddad got a fight contract, but he can't do it because the training camp he'd miss the chase every week.
They got to earn.
Yeah,
Sean, it's easy for these guys to pay these handsomely, Noel, as well, because it's a one-off show. If they were running shows every single week in different states all of the time, it wouldn't be as easy to pay them handsomely. I'm not saying the UFC guys don't deserve more money; they do. But it's easy to throw a couple of mil at these guys each because
but this wasn't throwing shade at WWE's pay structure and like that. Why I mentioned that they get paid handsomely was a lot of the beef that MMA fans have at times with the UFC as a promotion is that they rinse their fighters. Like fighters going into the UFC fighting for 10 and 10 grand, putting their lives on the line.
And then think how much that goes into training camps and travel and all that kind of stuff.
By the time they pay taxes and coaches and training camps and everything else, travel the whole lot and everything else, they'd be lucky if they come out with 3-3. These are guys going in there getting their head kicked in.
Yeah,
that's assuming they don't end up in an ER room as well, because then they literally earn nothing. You know, so
dearie me. Anyway, JDS, I had a feeling it wasn't going to go well. And it did, and he got knocked out cold in the first round by Espana. Apparently, he's undefeated, and like his, I think Maranello, who by the way did commentary for this, and is still absolutely amazing. Love
Very
Maranello,
good.
always have, always
Yeah,
will.
very good.
He said that Spain had, I think, knockouts that range from like 9 seconds, 14 seconds, a minute, and stuff. So I remember he said, called the night Maranello. He said he fights like he's double parked. Because then he has to
Yeah,
get in there and get out of there ASAP.
JDS needs to retire, Sean, doesn't he? He's had too much damage at this stage.
Yeah, and I don't think this did too much to him. Knowing this, I have no doubt Jake Paul will try to box him. But good win for the Spain. Bernas and Cross, I wasn't familiar with either of them, to be honest. But I think anyone who tries to, put across toughness, toughness and being a good fighter, all this, and then with no hint of irony coming out to 7 years by Lucas Graham, I hope they get fucking smashed, and that's exactly what happened to Kenneth Cross. It reminded me of Mike. It reminded me of the next man I talked about, Mike Perry. He wanted to come out to the Halo theme from the game Halo, but
Beyonce.
The thing is, there's the theme from the game Halo, Bren, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Jesus.
no. But you're half right, because he wanted that, but the UFC misunderstood that, and they gave him Halo by Beyonce. So he was walking out. And he was like, "What the fuck is this?" He's looking like, "What?"
Yeah, that is tremendous.
Speaking of Diaz and Perry, it was probably one of my favorite fights of the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to be honest, I didn't really expect it to go any other way than it did.
Yeah.
I think Nate Diaz's skin must be made of, like, I don't know, glass or cotton or something. Like, he bleeds so easily. I thought he looked pretty good on the ground, but I found he was resisting and trying to step back and trying to go out of his range. I think Perry is a much better striker. And
Perry,
unfortunately,
insane, isn't he? In the clinch, he's insane with the elbows.
He's so good, Niall. He's so good. So it was really disappointing to see the fight end the way it did. Nate Diaz has always been one to go out in his sword, but unfortunately, the same thing happened when he fought for the BMF title against Jorge Masvidal many, many moons ago. And then Mike Perry said, "Jake Paul, I want to rematch you in MMA." And Jake Paul very solemnly said, "Yeah, okay." Shitting himself because he knows Mike Perry would just pick him up and eat him like a sandwich. So good win. Nate Diaz was immediately calling for a rematch after. To be honest, I don't know if that would be a good idea.
He didn't an awful lot to suggest a rematch, did he?
Yeah, it's like, no, fuck, I'll get you next time. Immediate rematch. This is a rematch next time. So we'll have to see, but hopefully not. But I wouldn't mind seeing Diaz do more. But then again, I think the wheels have started to fall off the car a little bit. So we will have to see. And then Francis Ngannou, I like Francis Ngannou a lot. Great he got a first round thing. But just, the one thing to say about Dana, he's petty. While this event was going on, specifically when Francis Ngannou was walking out, they announced the Conor McGregor Max Holloway card.
Yeah,
which is happening like next month, and Jesus, that's a fucking unbelievable card.
Yeah, this is FedEx papers arriving at CM Punk's wedding level.
Yeah, exactly. So Francis Ngannou had a big triumphant return to MMA, but all everyone was talking about was the McGregor Holloway card. So very petty. Ngannou won. I think he's calling out John Jones. John Jones was on analysis for one point, and he said he's desperately trying to get out of his contract with the UFC, which I'm sure was, music to Dana White's ears. Dana White never says anything nice about John Jones. He never says he's the greatest of all time or anything. And with how much he dicked around Tom Aspinall, I've no desire to see him fuck him in the bin. And then the main event, 5:10. It was when this started, and I was thinking maybe we'll get a proper war. And then 3, 2, 1, ding.
CM Punk called it to a T, Sean. CM Punk called that to a T.
Literally 14 seconds. I think the bit where Niall does his opening lines to the camera when we start, and then he goes, "The panel have assembled." Literally, the time from the start till that was the length of the fight.
That was including walk-ins, Sean.
Including walk-ins, yeah. And I feel bad for Gina Carano because she hasn't fought since 2009. She lost, I think, 100 pounds to make weight, which is no joke.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and Rousey looked really good, in fairness. I don't expect another fight from Ronda. I think this was a better way for her to go out on top. I feel she left UFC like a bit of a wet fart, got destroyed by Holly Holm, and then went into a really dark place, then went into WWE, and then left. and then came back, and then left. So I think, if Ronda Rousey just retired from everything, not to be mean, I think she's achieved it because she made history in wrestling and she went out of mixed martial arts on top. And credit to Gina Carano for stepping up. I mean, she got absolutely demolished, literally immediate takedown, armbar, tap.
What do you make of all the stories going around, Sean? All this fixing allegations and stuff like that, especially with the fact that, like, you're training for this for 12 weeks or whatever it is, or camp, and then, like, you know that this girl is a judo expert, goes in for full mount, take you down, and moves to the armbar so quickly, transitions to it. Why would you go in so close? Why would you not jab and keep her on the outside?
No,
especially in those first seconds of the match.
I don't mind it, but the thing is, Rousey's ground game, especially her jitsu, her judo, and her Brazilian jiu-jitsu is just so elite, and that armbar gets so many people. And Rousey is known for.
But she literally walked into it. She literally walked into the takedown, knowing that's what's going to happen. Like
maybe
what sort of a training camp was telling you need to get in close to Rousey? Like the way to beat Rousey is to keep her at distance on the jab.
Because she was like, but no, she does judo. I can't do that. And then they say, even if you lose, you're getting $1 million. And she went, oh yeah, fair enough. I don't know. But no, a good event. I'd be open. Simply Red. Oh, that's gonna be my new name now. Thanks, Ian. I thought the show was okay. The one thing I will complain about, MVP also do boxing, and I find those events to be almost unwatchable, because the pacing of them would put Hulk Hogan popping up at Mania, would even Hogan would shudder a little bit and go, Jesus, lads, that's a bit much. Unfortunately,
what you make of the talk show? They're trying to put together Katie Taylor versus Holly Holm.
Oh, fucking hell. For what? Boxing or MMA or
boxing? They're talking that might be the Crow Park fight.
Fuck, that is no. That's a terrible idea. Why not give her a boxer? Like, credit to Holly Holm, but there's no way.
Holly Holm is quite a decorated boxer as well. Let's not forget that.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
I also think it's a really bad matchup for Katie Taylor as well, because Holly Holm has serious power in those hands.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mismatch. I don't know, but I think it would be such a missed opportunity and genuinely such a shame if Katie Taylor was to retire without fighting in Croke Park. So we'll have to see. But yeah, decent show. Get rid of the pacing. Enough for the analysis. Get Helwani away from the post-fight interviews. I didn't mind him doing the analysis. I think he's got a great mind, but post-fight interviews I found to be rough now. And keep Marinello on commentary. Let him do more stuff because he's amazing.
Isn't there a big boxing match happening in Croke Park in September, August, September?
That's supposed to be the Katie Taylor one.
No, Katie Taylor is second on the card. Top billing of the card is AJ versus Greedy Belly.
No, is that not the one in Riyadh? Are they not fighting in Riyadh?
Right, okay, so not fair enough. I heard that they were in Croke Park and Katie was going to be the undercard.
Right. Katie, if it's in Croke Park, Katie will be main event. There's no doubt about it.
And so she should. You're dead right.
Who's Greedy Belly?
Tyson Fury.
Bastion Booger. Sounds like.
Yeah, I skipped over Double or Nothing there because Dave's going to do a preview video on it because he couldn't make it tonight, so there's no point in us getting into it.
Jesus, is that this Sunday?
Yeah, that's this Sunday as well. Yeah, we are flattered. I'm not the next.
I didn't even know Saturday night's main event was Saturday. Now Double or Nothing's on Sunday. Jesus.
Yeah, Brian, talk to me about this. You sent this story into us in the group here, and I'd already put together a slide and all. Road Warrior Joe Laurinaitis, his wife Kim, is not happy with the biography episode on the Legion of Doom that went out, I think, on Sunday night on A&E.
I have a couple of thoughts on it, Niall. I read what her comments and I read what she wrote, and it came across. I don't know. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? I think there's probably a reason why she wasn't asked to do it. Like, it came across as somebody who was locked drunk and said, "I'll show these pricks." And she wrote a big fucking 2, 4 or 5 paragraph thing about, and even some of the stuff that she was saying. And look, I'm not doubting her. She's grieving the loss of one of the best one half of the best tag team of all time, her husband, more importantly. And I don't doubt it, but I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, because you know yourself, the TV side of things, the biography people as well, they're not always they're not always 100% either. I felt bad for her overall, to be honest with you, the fact that she wasn't involved. And I do think it discredits the biography overall, the fact that his actual wife was not involved. So I seen it, and overall I felt bad. I thought, to be honest, I thought she might have been a bit intoxicated, maybe, but I, you know, I don't
She
really
did
blame
make
her
she
either.
did make the point there was a little bit of misrepresentation and all when they spoke about him being brought to the hospital and stuff like that. She said that didn't happen.
She did,
You know,
but then I mean,
there was a couple of things in it that she said didn't happen, kind of thing. You know,
like if she's the only one saying that, and 5 other people are saying otherwise, do you know what I mean? And again, I'm not calling her a liar. Bloody sounds like I am, to be fair. But I mean, I just think the truth is somewhere in the middle there. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, that she should have been on the biography, in my opinion, anyway. But I felt bad for her, Niall. You see, like she's obviously still hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
What
maybe
did
I
you
mean
think? You're a Road
yeah,
Warriors guy.
it's hard to know. I remember when we were at WrestleMania 35, JR was with us, and JR met them and all. JR would have been JR's quite friendly with Kim, who's gone on the trips with us and stuff like that. And he speaks very highly of her and stuff like that and all, that she's a lovely woman and all. He went out for meals. He went out for a couple of meals on that trip, I think, with Animal and with his wife Kim, and he kind of like, I think actually before Animal passed away, I think JR was actually planning a trip for them to come over and stay with him and stuff and go around Ireland and all that kind of thing. Then maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's where it was at and stuff like that and all, you know. And he's you know, he converses back and forward with Kim and stuff like that and all, in a kind of a friendly kind of way, I feel like. So I don't know. I'm not too sure, you know. I hate when this stuff comes out because I'm a huge fan of the Road Warriors, obviously, you know, they're my guys and stuff like that and all, you know. So, and you know, I got to meet Joe at WrestleCon and stuff like that and all. He was a decent skin, you know. Obviously never got to meet Hawk and stuff like that. Unfortunately, he had a different kind of ending, if you like, you know. So very, very sad. But yeah. I guess in any kind of biography that people do and stuff like that, there has to be a certain latitude that certain elements of it might not quite be exactly how it worked out. And I think if you were concerned about what was going out, maybe you should have been more forceful about being involved. But I know she's very protective of the licenses and everything that Joe had and all that kind of stuff, and the trademarks and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, maybe there was a clash at the start of this being planned and it didn't work out the way it did and stuff like that, you know. But you know, you have to understand as well, it's his wife as well. So if anyone knows the story, she should know. And I think if there is issues there within the biography, I think we have to be fair to accept that, you know. I mean, who else is going to challenge them? No one's going to care more than his wife, you know. So I suppose from that point of view as well. Sharon wants to know, Keith, you okay? You're very quiet.
Are you okay, Keith?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, just listen to you.
Good.
Do you want me to come over to Talent and give you a hug?
Remember, I don't live in Talent. Remember.
Right, I wanted to bring this up as a topic. How are we feeling about this potential Baron Corbin coming back as the Frankenstein clown for Danhausen? Well, first of all, I suppose before we get into the Danhausen stuff, how are we feeling about Baron Corbin potentially coming back first? Give us thoughts on that, whoever wants to go.
I was never really a huge fan of Baron Corbin, to be quite honest with you, in the first place. Like, it just, with the multiple character changes and all, like yeah, his homeless thing was funny for like a time being, but it just got silly then after a while. I don't know how I feel about this. I spoke to Bren about it. Like, I like the whole Danhausen stuff that they're doing with him. It's comical. It's a nice little, you know, laugh and relief from if you're watching the wrestling and all, and just to switch off. But I don't know. I just think this is a bit stupid.
It'll go one of two ways.
Hokey is the word, lads. Hokey is
hokey,
the word. We know
well, there's nothing wrong with hokey. There's nothing wrong with hokey. I'll say that much, Niall. But I will look. I did a short on it this morning, and I think it'll go one of two ways. And I think if it's Bishop Brennan or whatever his name is, Baron Corbin. I think his real name is Bishop. Yeah, look, I heard he's great in the old barbecue. But if it's him, I think it's going
to reanimating Bishop Brennan back to life.
I've never been a fan of Baron Corbin, and I said it when he came up, and I said this lone wolf. I said he will never ever go main event. And like that, there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. But he also comments on the WWE, shits on the WWE at the moment, as do I suppose. But he comments on it as if he was the main guy. Ask my bollocks. Look, stay away. Go to AEW. Do a barbecue show. I heard you're really good at barbecuing. Or if you are coming back to the WWE, don't come back as bleeding Frankenstein. Piss off, will you? Not you, Baron Corbin, because I know you're watching. But like in general, like just piss off WWE with that shit. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think bringing Baron Corbin back as a Frankenstein kind of thing is going to work. And again, I think it's a more of a, as we touched on at the start of the show, it's an insult to the fans having shit like that. Taking time. Like I do like Danhausen, but like no one wants to see a Frankenstein in WWE. Like, you know what I mean? Or
am I the only one who feels it? Oh, 6. 26. No, you're not.
26?
It's 2026. We shouldn't be having now. Look, I'm saying that, but I understand some of the stuff that Danhausen has done, and it's been hilarious. But
it has been. It's been brilliant, but not, I don't want to like. I didn't want to see the Ginger Man funeral. I don't want to see this.
Is this a step too far? Is this a step too far?
Yeah.
In terms
I'd
of
rather Ric Flair be under the cover. I'd rather Ric Flair
don't
be
go
under
that
the
far
cover.
now.
Saying how did I get here? At least there's some comedic value to that.
Yeah,
it was bottle in one hand.
How do you lads feel about PCO? Because he's Frankenstein. He's made it work for like 6-7 years, something like that.
I think he should go back to being a pirate and shut his mouth. That's what I think about PCO.
I don't think Sean they'll be bringing him into WWE somehow. Just saying.
Imagine this him though. I think that'd be cool because he teamed with Danhausen in Ring of Honor for a little while.
It was mad. I was watching The Wrestler the other night with Ben, and you know the bit in the locker room with Necro Butcher, and they're talking about the staple gun and the staples.
Yeah.
And Randy the Ram, obviously Mickey Rourke is sitting there going, "Oh yeah, staples," and here he is like this now. And myself and Ben were watching it, and all I could think about was PCO. mental, crazy stuff.
Do you know what doesn't get enough credit in that film? The Bruce Springsteen song, "The Wrestler." I still listen to that. I listen to that at least a few times a week. It's an absolute cracker of a song.
No, what do you make of it anyway now?
Well, you know what I make of it. I binned off the Wyatts right from day one, didn't I? So I ain't entertaining this, you know what I mean?
Well, you were wrong
I said
that.
it already. Look, I love Danhausen. I love what he's doing. I love that niche he has forged for himself within the product and stuff like that. No. As I said already, the biggest problem is when they try to do something a little bit more serious, or they go way overboard with the hokiness, where people kind of check out of it then. And then that's a real problem then, because listen, we're not really tuning into Danhausen for the wrestling. We're tuning into Danhausen for the cursing and the gimmicky stuff and all that kind of stuff. But, and I say this all the time, eventually you have to step through the ropes and lock up. And then that's when it becomes an issue. Because I think once they step, unless they kind of do gimmicky kind of matches as well, you know, but then there's only so far you can push that hokiness. And I think when they seen what's happened with the Wyatts and stuff like that, and the way that played out and getting rid of it and stuff like that at all, it just didn't fit within the product suite at the moment, if you like, week on, week out. And I think that could potentially down the road become a problem with Danhausen. I hope it doesn't. I think he's great. I think he's a breath of fresh air. I think some of the stuff he does backstage and all is just fantastic. And even when he's out doing other shows outside of the WWE bubble, like the ESPN Sports Center stuff and things like that and all, I think it's cool stuff to do. But I think then eventually the fans will be okay with that, and eventually then they'll just go, you do have to eventually lock up. You have to show us something eventually.
But I think there's a room for the Danhausen character to evolve. And the Wyatt 6 thing, I love the Wyatt 6 at the start, but there was also room for them to evolve. Like if I'm thinking long term with the Danhausen character, and we won't get into it now because I could go on for about an hour about this. Danhausen could evolve into a serious character, like a real evil Doink the Clown type thing, like a real, like as in 2026, a real bastard. He could do that. He could change his face paint red, just be like, you know what? I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna lie, and I'm gonna rip your face off. He could do something along the lines of that. That would be cool. There's room to evolve and make it realistic.
Would it be credible?
Absolutely, 100%. look,
because I've visions of him coming into the ring trying to do that, and Jey Uso in the other corner pissing himself laughing, breaking character again.
Because
I just don't see that being in the character. If that guy walks up to me on Grafton Street trying to be a snarly hard bastard, I'm going to break my shit laughing.
No, I get it, right? But it's all relative and it's all about execution, right? There's some people, like take Jake the Snake, for example, right? And I'm not, look, Jake the Snake, he didn't shout at his promos. He brought it down. He was real quiet. He made people listen, and he scared the shit out of people. No, but you could develop that kind of aura. I understand why, Niall, you can't see it. Keith, I understand why you can't see it. I totally get it. But I just think for a character like that, there is room to evolve. And if he can pull it off, why not? When they reach that point where, you know what? The fans are coming off a cliff here, switch it up, roll the dice and risk it.
But Bren, my issue is what are they going to do with this Frankenstein thing? Is this going to be like another Festus situation where the ring bells and he goes nuts?
Festus.
Come here. If Festus comes out of that, I'll smash my laptop through the window because that's another.
It'd be great.
That's what's going to happen.
Biscuits and gravy, yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
That was a great song, to be fair. That was a great song.
Him and Jesse back in the day were. That's a real, real deep.
I don't know about this. I think they're riding the crest of a wave with this guy at the moment, and I think they just need to be really careful. My biggest fear is I don't care about a magician when I understand his tricks.
That's a brilliant saying, firstly. But secondly, I think it's a reflection on WWE creative as well. I do.
That's okay, but WWE creative so far with this guy have done a stellar job. Let's be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. But there's loads of examples where they could have done a much better job, and they could have allowed things grow and evolve in a certain direction, and they didn't. And as a result,
do you know what's potentially missing from this guy? This guy would have been electric around the 24/7 title.
Oh yeah.
And maybe that's kind of that little bit that's missing. Maybe they could jig it a different way or something like that.
They could still bring it back now. You never know.
No, screw that title.
He's good now.
Yeah, it was a stupid title. The best thing that
R-Truth made it funny though.
R-Truth can make anything funny.
100%.
No, that title was just it was a joke as well.
I just don't know if the audience are gonna see this guy unwrapping a cover off someone. And Baron Corbin sits up like the Undertaker and he's Frankenstein. I think people are going to look at this and go, is this Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights or is this fucking Raw and SmackDown?
No, if they do that, that's where they'll give up on him. That's where they'll drop it. If Baron,
but this is where this is going to go. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's Baron Corbin or Festus or any other lanky wrestler that can pull off a Frankenstein gimmick. I just think the sheer pushing of the envelope to that extreme of hokiness. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's going back to the egg and the rooster thing 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's
the mid-90s, is it?
Yeah, no, like we don't.
Gobbledygooker, yeah.
Gobbledygooker.
Yeah, that's what it was. Gobbledygooker, yeah.
Gobbledygooker. Man, it came out the egg.
That's it, Sean.
Shockmaster, huh? Get him back. But no, it's just a bit too far. It is way too far to be doing it.
I think they're going to realize very soon if this is going to succeed or not. They're going to realize very soon about this. I think.
Well, I think it so far. I think it's been a huge success. I think he shocked a lot of people. But I just think. I think this is one where you really have to tread water about how hokey you get with it a little bit. You know what I mean? And I just think it's. Unless what the plan is that maybe he keeps on cloning these guys who are wrestlers who go out and then wrestle for him under his kind of mind control or something like that. And then he nearly acts like a manager or kind of, the guy who creates the monsters. So you could have Baron Corbin, then you could have maybe Braun Strowman comes back or something like that. I don't know, maybe, and maybe that's the stick they go with it,
They're going to drag this out to SummerSlam, aren't they? Oh my God!
I think they're going to drag. I think they might drag it out for most of his career in the Fed.
But Niall, I said this to Bren. This all reminds me of the Frankenstein movie from the 70s. The way it's going on.
I think that's the aim, though, right? Because I think he's doing it. But look, like I said, I mean, This will be the end of Danhausen. It'll be the beginning of the end of Danhausen. If it's any like, it has to be a one and done. Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, Bren. I think he still could pull it off. Like, he's very popular in WWE. Do you know?
Listen, no.
This is one I want to get Sean Mack's thoughts on. Sean, how you feeling about this Foley to AEW? I know Dave isn't here, but I'm sure Dave will let us know as well. But
it's interesting. I don't know if there's actual rumors of it or if people are just speculating it could happen. I think
there's rumors of it. His legend contract is up in the next few weeks. So I did a short on it a few weeks ago, and there's rumors on the fact that Tony's already talking to him. So why wouldn't he?
I think it could be cool to see.
Yes,
I mean, I absolutely love Mick Foley. The fact he's alive and
what?
Niall loves Mick Foley too, and he's just discovered it.
No,
Man City just equalised.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, Niall, no.
What does that mean now, Niall?
Full of Arsenal fans. What am I going to do?
It means, I think it means we might automatically get the Champions League 5th spot then, because Bournemouth, I don't think, can catch us.
Right, well, I don't think it's going to be safe for me to leave this room when we go off the air, so I'm probably just going to lock myself in here.
No. For you, it doesn't mean anything, Sean, because Arsenal will be champions.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah,
because the gap will be Arsenal will be crowned champions. There's literally a minute to go. Just let you know.
It's a house, so if you hear a big hurricane in my house, it's probably my family in the sitting room. I don't know.
Back.
I think it would be cool to see Foley. Just I want him to be active and to be doing stuff because he's a legend, genuinely an angel.
He could GM.
He could be. He could get involved with Moxley. He could get involved with anything really. He can do anything really. So. I don't know. It would be cool to see him.
He can't still wrestle, can he?
No, he can barely walk.
No. He was
it's funny you mentioned that, Ed. It's funny you mentioned that, Ed. He thought he had one more match left in him, and
he got up off the jack stand, did he?
Not that Pox MVP. I'll talk about him another time. But MJF basically would have been the guy. I think.
Yeah. What a pity, but it's okay. Do you want to know one of the things he actually pitched? He mentioned this. He cut a very famous promo in ECW, all inspired by the fact that someone was holding a sign. This is when he was Cactus Jack. Someone was holding a sign that said Kane Dewey. And to take words from himself, Dewey Foley is a 6-year-old boy. You sons of bitches! So he pitched for MJF to actually Kane Dewey, literally now, because Dewey Foley's an adult. So I think
John, Arsenal are Premier League champions.
Yeah, I did just hear something. I did hear something.
Absolutely terrible.
I don't watch football. I don't watch fake predetermined sport like football. I don't know. It's not for me. But yeah, Mick Foley. I wouldn't mind seeing him in AEW. Wouldn't mind seeing him anywhere, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully, maybe. But he's from New York, right?
Yeah.
And AEW have a show on Sunday in America somewhere. I don't know. So maybe it could happen.
Little update on Randy Orton there. It's been confirmed that he is out at the moment due to the back injury, but I think most of us probably knew that.
Now, hang on. It has not. So Meltzer came out and said it, but Randy tweeted out about this, and he said, "Calm down, everybody. I'm all right. I'll be back soon. I'm just enjoying the summer," which indicated to me that the back injury isn't as extreme. So Randy actually tweeted. He quoted the tweet and said,
"Well, it was extreme enough for them to pivot on the main event at WrestleMania and keep the belt on Cody when he was supposed to be getting it."
So, I think they were afraid then. I just think
put the belt on Randy.
No, I think they were as uncertain about the injury.
But
I think it's become clear now, because why would Randy Orton come out and tweet and say, "Stop acting the bollocks"? I'm actually quoting from the source. I'm not quoting from some fucking 65-year-old that's been irrelevant since the creation of the internet. That Meltzer prick. I'm not quoting him. I'm quoting
full
Randy.
Screen him, Niles. Full screen him.
Orton.
Screen. Come on.
I'm not quoting Meltzer.
So Randy Orton isn't out with a back injury. He's just enjoying the summer.
That's just according to Randy. I don't know. Randy genuinely said that on the Twitter.
He could be playing it as well. Like, do you know what Randy's like?
Randy wouldn't lie to me.
You know what Dave Meltzer
lie to you if he fucking wants.
You know, Brent, you'll agree with this. Dave Meltzer, he needs to kick up the arse and he needs a Hoover. Because you always see his picture of him in his room with so much paper on the ground. You would swear that is a forest of paper
John,
in his room. He needs a Hoover and he needs a house cleaner or something. Like it's shocking.
him, Coach, and Russo.
Here we go.
They are not relevant. They have not been relevant since the internet boom of 2005. Since we started to get internet on these devices. Because if I want wrestling news, I can go straight to the source now. I don't have to rely on that. And you know what the thing about wrestling is? You can kind of predict it once you know it long enough. You can kind of predict how things are or what things or what's going on. So they've about a 50% chance of getting it right. And then when Meltzer's showing us wrong, he'll say, "Oh well, I was given bad information." Shut your mouth. You've just been watching since the 70s, you cunt.
Goodness gracious, Brent.
Sorry, Niall. I didn't
apologize
mean to take over that segment. I apologise.
The WWE in the week of WrestleMania confirmed that Randy Orton was in pain, severe pain, carrying an injury. And the reason he went through with the match and not pivot the title to Randy Orton was because he had to go off and he had to heal up.
Was not mental pain from that his magnum opus had Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee shoehorned in?
I'm not sure that.
Well, at that stage, it wasn't really shoehorned in when they were talking about trying to find a solution to this main event that was falling apart.
No, I like
and we know if you look at how the match delivered, the match was horrific.
I have a question for you now. Do you think this is going to limit his RKO a bit with his back injury?
I mean, he's getting up there. He's getting up there now, Keith. This guy's
I know. That's what I'm saying to you. I know.
And the thing about it is, and I would add this as well, I'm not sure coming back jacked to the gills either helps your joints or your back.
Carrying all that weight, yeah.
That guy came back, he was gigantic.
This is what he said. I can't really put it in. You won't be able to see it.
You read it out us already.
I did. LM laughing my ass off, just milking it, guys. Leave me alone. I'm trying to enjoy my summer before I come back and take that number 15. Would he be so confident? Like, I understand that WWE may have indicated, but I just think they did not know how severe the injury was. And I don't think it's severe as Fucko over in America is. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that.
He didn't say whoever it is. He said he basically made the point that he was out and he was healing up. That is, he had a back injury. He wasn't saying it was a career-ending injury or anything like that.
Now,
I don't think there's anyone on this panel here that isn't aware of the fact that Randy Orton went into WrestleMania in severe pain, carrying a back injury.
No, he was definitely had somewhat of an injury, but I don't think it was as serious because if you go back on the reports, they do say severe. They do say it's an injury, and they also say he could be out a long time, and that's coming from all the bleeding clickbait rage people that get me all the time. You know what I mean? Anyway, I didn't mean to kill the buzz there.
Well, it wasn't a buzz. It was just a topic that I wanted to bring up.
Bernie, you
just lost a rag because you're saying the wrestling up there.
Well, lads, we may get used to the buzz being dead because Niall said at the start of the show there is some awful stuff in the history section.
Oh, shit.
And he never typically lies when he says that. Okay, good.
Oh, beautiful.
Congratulations to these two. Absolutely delighted for Io Sky and for Evil or Nakura, is it? Nakura is his actual name, I think. So
aren't they just gorgeous? That is a gorgeous picture.
That's some head of hair that he has.
I actually, Brian, I was tempted to use the other one where Keith was best man.
I was waiting for you.
I think they both look amazing and fair play to them.
Absolutely beautiful.
Io Sky is a gem, absolute gem. Right, let's get into some history and some birthdays.
Run, Sean, run away.
Keith, I'm going to start. First of all, we're going back to 2002. The British Bulldog Davy Boy Smith passed away at the age of 39 in Invermere, Canada, from a heart attack. That's the first one. 2015, NXT champion Kevin Owens makes his WWE main roster debut when he answers John Cena's weekly United States Open Championship Challenge.
That was
there.
Brilliant.
There we go.
Good comeback.
Keith, you were saying you're sick of street fights. Open challenges go back quite a long way as well. 1996, of course, a very memorable WWF house show took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City in front of 18,000 fans, which was a record-breaking crowd at the time for a non-televised event. But of course, we remember it was the curtain call that happened that night, and of course, started an awful lot of triggering stuff of stuff going different ways and all that kind of stuff. Namely, Triple H for a long time was in the doghouse. 2011, Randy Macho Man Savage sadly passed away at the age of 58 in Somali, Florida. Savage had suffered a heart attack whilst driving his Jeep Wrangler, which tragically collided with a tree. So tragic. There we go. In 2001, in one of the most famous and best bouts in Monday Night Raw history, Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit defeated the two-man power trip, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, to win the WWF Tag Team Championships. During the bout, of course, Triple H suffered a quad tear that would keep him out of action nearly for the guts of a year, I think it was. Miraculously, he still managed to finish the bout almost as planned. And of course, we remember Triple H's comeback at Madison Square Garden. Absolutely amazing. 2011, Sinclair Broadcasting, one of the largest media companies in the USA, announced that they had purchased Ring of Honor, and we all know how that went. 2013, British wrestling legend Mick McMahon has passed away at the age of 92.
Wow.
And of course, as alluded to with Bren as well, of course, 1999, we had the Over the Edge pay-per-view at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. Of course, where Owen Hart tragically fell to his death while performing an entrance stunt. Very, very sad, and a huge loss to wrestling still to this day. And there's people actually, when they go back to that arena, actually, there's people that say that they can feel the spirit, they can feel something in the arena and stuff like that. They say that his spirit still roams the rafters of the Kemper Arena. Very, very sad. Notable birthdays. Dick Slater, 1951. The Ugandan Kamala, 1950. Alistair Black, 1985. The Great Andre the Giant, 1946. Kota Ibushi, 1982. The Road Dogg, 1969. Chris Benoit, 1967. And tragically as well, Woman, 1964. Mr. T, who talks about his mama all the time, 1952.
Nice.
The late, great Bray Wyatt, 1987. The Yes Movement himself, Daniel Bryan, 1981. The Loose Cannon himself, Brian Pillman, 1962. One half of the Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, 1983. And we rounded out with friend of the show, Brian Heffernan, 1973. The Blue Meanie celebrates his birthday this week as well.
That redeemed it, to be honest. That birthday. There's a few names who were going to shed a tear.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go, folks. That's your history.
It's my birthday on Thursday as well, so
no way.
A few revolutes, yeah. Expect a few.
Are you having a 21st?
I'm having a 41st.
Are you 41?
I'll be 41, yeah.
Hey.
Me too. I'll be 41 next month.
There you go. Thanks, lads. Just thought I'd get it in there,
The day over 40. There you go. We'll mention on the Thursday show.
I'll be mentioning you on Saturday. Tune into the Smackdown show. Legend.
Dar actually mentioned it to me on Monday. He says, make sure to include the Blue Meanie in the birthdays. I said, he's already in there, brother. He's already in there.
Anything but a meanie.
Upper tier always knocking it out of the park. Appreciate that, as always. Right, folks, that's it until next week. Don't forget to join us. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a watch-along for the Europa League final, which should be fun. Thursday, I'm back with Darren on your screens for a preview for the weekend now, which will probably feel a little bit flat now that Arsenal are champions. What have we got then? Saturday, we got the boys checking into the Smackdown Motel, as always. Delivering their analysis of Smackdown, which I'll be keeping an eye on, so they keep it 100. And of course, then Saturday night into Sunday morning, probably about 12:30, we will go live for Saturday night's main event. And then Sunday, I'm doing a watch along for the last day of the Premier League. And then we roll it all back around again. Monday, we're into the Monday mashup, and then we're on the road to Italy, to Turin, not Turin, Turin. Get that right. My good friends in America, if anyone's tuning in, it's not Turin, it's Turin. There you go. Sharon says, happy birthday, Ed. Love it, Sharon. And great show, lads, from Eno, as always. Love it. Right, folks, until next time, stay safe, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, but more importantly, drop a like on the video and make sure you're hitting that bell. Really, really important, because we're updating it literally on a daily basis. I actually think we're probably going to be doing a watch along for Smackdown. Not this week, next week as well. So we'll see how that goes. We'll pop it up there as well. I am working the fucking weekend ragging. Sure, this is what it is. Should drop in and out of the chat if you can, Sharon, as always.